Hello everybody, it is the Naughty Degen here, coming at you with another video. So, we know Immutable X, an L2 for Ethereum that is a layer 2, has tremendous benefits for end users, for developers, for games, and for Ethereum as a whole, because it massively scales the Ethereum platform. On top of that, the Immutable company is constantly investing in an IP that is going to be built on the platform, making successful games. We have Gods Unchained, which is, I would say, one of the most successful NFT/blockchain games. Obviously, Axie is like #1 right now, but Gods Unchained I would definitely put in the top 10. I play it myself. I have a lot of fun with playing it. So there's a lot going on with Immutable. On a tech side, gas-free minting, very cheap transactions. You know, you just can't go wrong, okay? And definitely a push, a true focus on NFTs and gaming, a true focus, a true specialization on the gaming side of things. Generally speaking, in the, just in life, when you specialize in something, you generally get really good at it versus trying to be a wide net that catches all things. You might not have all the innate benefits that comes with specialization. So on a tech side, Immutable X, really good, gas-free minting, really cheap transactions. On a content side, the company themselves, GameStop NFT marketplace, we know about this, in addition to constantly developing and improving and acquiring NFT games. So, what is the secret benefit of Immutable X in addition to all these things that a lot of people might not talk about? And that is providing a native improvement in liquidity for selling NFTs, for selling any type of in-game objects or items or anything that is related to digital ownership. They're called NFTs. Sometimes I want to say I don't want to call them that just because so many people out there hear NFTs and they think monkey pictures, but it's so much more than that. It's about digital ownership. But you guys get the point. They're NFTs, non-fungible tokens. So what do I mean by that? By that native improvement in liquidity. What I mean by that is a order book. A global order book. When the idea behind Immutable X, before or after all those first things I listed with the content and the tech, is this idea of a global order book that is going to essentially dramatically improve liquidity for NFTs. Liquidity meaning there's going to be a lot more buyers and sellers that have access to when you're buying or selling or listing an NFT. The way it does that is pretty simple. You can see in this diagram right here, we have an ad. Marketplaces, order book, exchange contract, and blockchain. Blockchain is going to be Ethereum. Marketplaces, you could say GameStop, OpenSea, and whatever else, what other mintable, let's say, okay? And obviously GameStop, a lot of hype, probably going to be the biggest one, I think, in my opinion, but we'll see. An OpenSea integration has not occurred yet, but it probably will occur sometime this year. And so the idea is, rather than having to use a third-party service or manually listing your NFTs on all the exchanges you know of, right? Rather than doing that and having to go and list everything manually and hoping that works, what Immutable X does is it combines that into an order book, which an order book is pretty simple. It's maker and taker orders. Very simply, buying and selling. And what this does is it makes it so if you're on GameStop Marketplace and you list something you're trying to sell, or you see something you're trying to buy, that is going to be listed across every marketplace that is integrated with Immutable X. Now, this is really exciting because we've never actually had this before in the Ethereum space. If you list on OpenSea, you're not listed on any other, marketplace or exchange. You're not. It's native to OpenSea. And so even if you did list on another exchange, right? What happens if it sells on OpenSea, right? and then it's still listed on the exchange if someone tries to buy it, but it's not really there, and there's what would be called syncing issues between all these different exchanges because they don't have the same order book, right? And there are services out there that try and list on every exchange or every marketplace that's known, but there's always new ones popping up. And there's going to be things called native marketplaces where the actual game themselves has a marketplace. So if there's a game that's built on Immutable X's layer 2, and they have their own native marketplace, any third-party service is going to have a lot of trouble keeping up with all these new marketplaces constantly coming out. What this does, it integrates it all into one order book. So if you're playing, theoretically speaking, you're playing Call of Duty, and you have a really rare skin on a gun, and it's an NFT, just theoretically speaking, and they have a native marketplace, so it's like the Call of Duty marketplace, and you list it on there, it will also be listed on GameStop's marketplace. It will also be listed on eventually OpenSea's marketplace, on this marketplace, that marketplace, where as long as Immutable is integrated into the exchange, that order book becomes part of the exchange or marketplace, so any and all transactions are synced across all marketplaces. Now, this is a huge benefit because not only are you going to get improved liquidity, basically meaning it's easier to get in and out of NFTs, buying them and selling them, makers and taker orders, it's also going to be much faster because you're not going to have to do as much waiting for someone to see that NFT or digital item and buy it, because it's going to be synced across every single marketplace. So Token Trove is a big one for Immutable that has integrated Immutable, and so when something is bought and sold on Token Trove, it's part of the global order book, and so GameStop's marketplace, it's going to reflect that. And this, again, liquidity is so big because we don't see NFTs have quite as much liquidity as cryptocurrencies, just because of how they kind of work, because they're on a one-to-one basis. They're non-fungible. What this is going to do is try and get it to that point to where you could look at the price of an NFT and be like, oh, this is worth this much, and you have an aggregate across all marketplaces, versus now the way you do that is you look at OpenSea, you look at the floor and the rarity and kind of get an idea of how much it's worth, and then you list it. And so this is going to come as close as I think you realistically could at getting native prices for NFTs. Prices are so important to a marketplace. Prices are information for investors and buyers and gamers to know truly across all worlds what their item is worth, not just on one exchange. So yeah, that is the secret of Immutable X that a lot of people might be missing, on top of the great tech, the great IP, the content, the partnerships. This global order book is going to come really close to being able to just give you a price for your NFT that is very accurate across all marketplaces, and it's going to be a lot better of an experience versus using some third-party service that kind of just tries to list it on as many things as possible. Some of them are shady. You don't want to be really giving your wallet access to services like that. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, share it. Follow me over on Twitter if you haven't already, and Twitch, link in the description. And yeah, I'll catch you next time. Have a great day.